about 3 to 4 years ago, we were in a smaller room. There was not that many people. And everybody was talking Bitcoin. This thing is going to crash. It's never going to go up. And but I was doing a lot of research. And I said to myself, there's something going on here. So to give you a little history, I come from the music side of the world. I've been in records with T-Pain, if you guys know. And my career started in Puerto Rico. I'm from Puerto Rico. Maybe you guys have heard what happened at the island. But when I started my music career, I made a song, and the song, everybody said it wasn't good enough. I can tell you today that I have one of the most important songs in Puerto Rico history, Yo Soy Boricua Pa' Que Tú Lo Sepa. The reason I'm saying this story is because today it is in the hearts of many Puerto Ricans. So today's a very important day, not only for me, but also for Puerto Rico. I represent them too here in blockchain. So, why am I saying this? Copyrights, very important. Blockchain, very important. So when I thought about, as a founder of IO Digital and co-creator of IO Coin, what I thought was, how can we make a currency that could possibly be in the hands of people in underdeveloped countries? Because I didn't have enough information of the mining, and it was just a lot of money that was going into possibly get some mining gear and stuff like that. So I did research on Sonny King, Rat 4 for the old schoolers. And I was thrown back by POS. So IOCON started with the idea of POS because I thought that possibly people that may want to come into blockchain may not have the mining equipment or the money to possibly get that expensive mining equipment. So maybe there might be an easier entry point through it. And also, I thought that it could also be more user-friendly. So our mission statement, our ultimate goal is to improve and provide secure, fast, and user-friendly blockchain ecosystem in order to advance adoption of decentralized service around the world. So what I mean by that, what we mean by that in the IO Digital community is that we want to make sure that nobody is left behind. Let's just say it like that. At least this is where our minds have come to think about. So user-friendliness was very important for us. A lot of the coins have QT wallets, long hex addresses, and a lot of people, when I got into the space, they were like, is there anything that can be done? Because I don't understand this long hex address. And I don't, can there be names? So we started thinking about that. The high energy consumption, and again, the entry was very important. So can there be a way of securing the chain, possibly with a Raspberry Pi, somewhere in Colombia or any country? And that's where, again, POS came into our minds. We wanted to also improve on the peer-to-peer communications, the block size, which is something that's been discussed back and forth. And again, revamping the QT, and also enhancing the contract handling, and I'll get into that a little bit later. We've been around since 2014. I am not pitching you today. We are not an ICO, we are IOCoin, IOC. So in 2014, we launched. That was our first Genesis. Block was mine. We had a fair launch, and we had no pre-mine, and it was just a big dream. Big dream. We put our hearts, our soul into this project. And I'm proud to say that, because we were swimming against the current, right? Believing in blockchain, believing in what people can do. So we had people in Canada, Germany, developers coming together, putting our ideas together, organic. That's the way, I guess, we thought would be done better. Blockchain in our minds is decentralized, right? Nodes, public nodes. The more public nodes, the more secure. So that's what we thought about. We had a 2-week mining period because we were going to go pause. And it was important for us to do a good distribution of the coins initially. Right now, IOCoin has maintained 100% uptime in over 32,000 hours of cost computation. At no period have we ever suffered a 51% attack, and the IOC community has maintained over 46% staking, which means that our coins, for many of the users, are being held to secure transactions. This was the QT wallet when I came into the space. This is the famous QT wallet on the left, and we started the journey. How can we improve this? We did the HTML5 wallet in IOCoin, probably one of the first ones to do it. And I'm talking about a staking wallet, right? Not an HD wallet where you connect to a server, right? These are wallets that stake, that confirm transactions. And this is where we are today. We have created this UI with no funding, all hard work. We want to show the world that we can do this. It's possible to do this. Yes, funding is needed, but we wanted to make sure that people could trust on the work that we were doing before we ever had anything. It's very important. Trust is very important. I own the company called Mac Wizard Service, 5 stars. The customer is always very important. The users are also very important. They're coming in and they don't know nothing. They don't understand this. It's sometimes a little too geeky, right? And I'm a little bit of a geek myself, so I sometimes have to, I've been told by Mr. Nadal Antonioni, hey, I understand it, but can you explain it to me a little bit better? I say, yes, but I'm going to make this wallet and then I'll talk to you. So we made this wallet. And this is a staking wallet. Once you have IOC, you can put it into this wallet, and when you're staking, you're confirming transactions, and you get a reward. Within the wallet, we were able to introduce Dions, decentralized input-output name server. IOCoin is the currency that runs on the blockchain. It's an application blockchain. It's an application-based blockchain. 4 megabyte blocks, and I'll go into why we upgraded to 4 megabyte blocks. As you can see, we have 16-second confirmations, 4% staking reward. Our aliases, which are usernames or names that people create in the wallet that I just showed you, can be private, and they can also be public, but they're initially private. We also have an encrypted messaging system, AES 256, and I'll go into how it works, and document storage. And I'll also go into that because a lot of people think bloat. Private and public aliases. So when you come in through the wallet, you're able to create a private alias. That private alias gives you the ability to store a document. I was talking about music earlier, right? And copyrights. Well, there was an issue. When I submitted my song to the Copyright Office, They never told me they could only have it for 10 years or 5 years. So when people started using my song, I have my copyright, but I don't have the song. So what's going on with that? That can't be. There has to be a proof somewhere that I submitted that. So to me, it was very important that we had introduced document storage. Not big, just a little one. Enough to put a music sheet, medical records, legal documents, and then have the proof of existence via the hash, right? So a private alias is a unique alias that you can create, and within that, you can store a document. That same alias, let's say it's a car title. It could be that the car title has, I don't know, you have a Toyota Camry and your name, you register that, and you store that document, and that's going to get compressed, encrypted, and it's going to be attached to a private key so that you can later download that. And you have your proof that that's your vehicle. And later on, I'll tell you what you can do once you have that, but you can also transfer that to somebody else. So say I'm at the studio and I record something, song, and I have an idea. I record that in a very low quality MP3. And at least at that moment, I have something to prove that I came up with that melody. Maybe I could just put it very small. I have it in there. And then I could possibly maybe transfer it over to my publishing company or somebody, right? So I was talking about the public and the private aliases. And I'm going to go right here. Encrypted messaging. I'm going to go kind of quick so you guys can see everything. So the public aliases also have the capability of sending an invitation to another public alias. So let's say it's your friend, or in this case, a doctor that wants to speak to another doctor. And then later on, we're going to get into the API information on how this could work without the wallet. But for say, public alias to public alias, there's an invite that happens, and that creates an encrypted tunnel. AES 256, and through there, you have instant messaging happening through the blockchain. There's no middle server, and this is very important right now. Communications right now, everybody knows that are being tapped into, and it's very important to keep stuff private. There may be some very important information that companies want to share, so they can utilize our private messaging system and speak through the blockchain. In about a year or two, quantum entanglement will probably be something that can be done already in the blockchain. And I'm saying because it requires to encrypt and decrypt in a very fast manner, right? So we do up to 2 megabyte data storage. When I say up to, is because there is compression and maybe a little file, so it could get maybe into 1.2 megabytes. A private alias then uploads a document. There's encryption and compression. That generates an atomic key. That atomic key is attached to that document. And through your private keys, you can later retrieve that if you don't have the wallet from another wallet, or you can just store it for accessing it later. And then therefore you can then download that, and that will decompress and decrypt your file. Amazing stuff. This is the Dione's Application Service API. We're currently working on the API. And what we're doing right now is basically building this API so that our developers that are out there can take the API and start creating decentralized applications. And the applications that we're thinking that could be made are any applications that transfer legal documents or store legal documents, proof of existence, intellectual property, microblogging, medical and identity storage, fingerprint, ballot, QR code, you name it. So this will be now our project for the next 2 to 3 weeks, and we're on GitHub, iocoin/Dions. You can follow us there. If you're a developer, please comment, check us out, and give us your ideas, and let's make this better together. I'm showing you now our world distribution on the coin right now. We're in those countries right now, and I actually want to get, maybe next time when you see me, one of my dreams will start to come true. I want to start lighting up Africa more, South America. They're very important countries. They need to be here. All these people need to be here if we're truly believing in blockchain. It's very important. So I'm thinking that we could probably do that through our POS. 46% staking notes from our stakers, and 7.9 million coins are currently in stake. So today I'm presenting our roadmap for this year. It's Dions V.2. Stealth addresses. It's very important, and I'll talk about it. We just talked about documents. Let's say there's medical records, and somebody needs to send a medical record over to a patient or a hospital. That communication has to be private or it won't be compliant. So some way, somehow, we have to make sure that those transactions are compliant in some way and give some privacy to the parties that are exchanging that information. Also, patents. You might want to have a patent and you want to transfer it over to somebody else, and you want that transaction to not be checked in the Explorer. We're going to be doing ring signatures so that multiple parties can sign off. Encrypted group messaging, so we're expanding our messaging to group messaging. It may be in a financial sense that a team of financiers that want to speak about something that it's important. They don't want it to get hacked. They don't want that message to get out there. It might be something very important, and they're going to have the ability to do that. Also, we're going to be doing scientific and medical research computations, because there's a lot of power in POS when it's doing all the computations, but they're kind of not being utilized completely. So we can use some of that computational power to help in the medical research. And I said earlier, we didn't do an ICO because our hearts were, again, in pushing blockchain and trying to do it organically. So if we can give some of our hashing power to medical research, we're very glad to do it. We are already in talks with some universities, and possibly we're going to start something in the next couple of months once we have the computations in. Graduated staking is basically, some people call master nodes, but we're not doing master nodes, we're doing graduated staking. It means that if you have 1 IOC, 2 IOC, or 3, the longer a period of time that you are staking, you get graduated within the blockchain, and you have the ability and rights to vote. And then we also have shuffle staking, which means that even though you have a very little amount of IOC, through the shuffle, you might just get rewarded with a big reward once a while for the time that you have been securing the blockchain. And one-time messaging auto-destruct in case somebody wants to send a message and they really just don't want it to be any longer in the chain. And it could also help with bloat. So that is our V.2. Chameleon is going to be our side chain. We already have been working on this for 3 years, but we didn't want to do the side chain until we had a base in what IOCoin blockchain is. To us, IOCoin is a registrar. It's a blockchain that can be utilized for registration, for messaging, document storage, transfer between parties. So it was important to have an entry point so that then we can build an ecosystem around it. We always knew in our minds that there were going to be multiple blockchains that they were going to interconnect and speak to one another. But registration is everything. You register in Facebook, you register everywhere, and it goes into a centralized server. I'm sure our developers that are right here are probably already thinking of what we can do together to make this a more secure step. So Chameleon is going to be our side chain. It's going to be interoperability between IO Coin and Chameleon. There's also going to be other chains that are probably going to come in to do different things. And we're going to have up to 100K transactions per second. That's already been tested on our testnet. We're now thinking how we're going to go about launching it, because our main focus has been IO Coin, blockchain, and the register. And we think that by the end of the year, we're somewhere around October, we're going to be able to have an idea exactly how we're going to launch Chameleon. I want to present to you our foundation. It's a nonprofit foundation. It's from the Netherlands. I am the founder, project manager. I took this project from zero. Again, we never had any pre-mine or funding. Today, our project stands at a market cap of $80 million. Hard work, 4 years. A lot of people know that our team is a hard-working team, and we want to continue to ensure that they know that we're here to continue to work. So it's really exciting to see it grow from nothing to something, and we see a bright future ahead. Kind of like what happened with me. I was born in Puerto Rico. I could hear the raindrops. And come from a single mom. She worked very hard to get me out of the island so I could get some English and help my sister that could not speak well. I had to learn English. I had to fight. I didn't know English, so I had to go to ESL classes, fight my way through high school, graduated, and became an entrepreneur very early on through the music and all that. And today, when I was driving in here, I looked at the buildings, and I said, oh my God, I'm about to speak about blockchain. Wow. It was something else, but the reason I keep saying this story is because we could be whatever we want to be. There is nothing to stop us. So I don't worry about market caps and all that. I'll say it, but I don't worry about it because we're working. And as long as we continue to work, and as long as we show the world that we are working, that we're delivering, that's what counts for me. And as a project manager, every single one of these people right here has given their heart and soul to this project. So I want to introduce you Derek Hatton. He's our lead developer, scientist from CERN. Left it. He's working with us. Derek, if you're watching, thank you. Richard Groen, head of our partnerships. Sam Gapsey, our technical security advisor. And our board of directors from the foundation, Alexander Nudalos, with Global Alliance Director from KPMG, Marco Howling, Senior Vice President from TomTom, and Mr. Nadal Antonioni, who's been behind me, giving me all the advice. He used to be the president of IBM Mexico and South America. So I've had the fortune to have him guide us to make sure that we're doing the right thing and we keep our eyes on the goal, which is the map that I showed you. Try to bring blockchain to everybody. And with this, I want to say that we have a special announcement. And we're very happy to say that I think that Dr. Mo Levin has looked into our project and he's joined our foundation. So that's really good. So, Mo, thank you. I know you've been looking at the project for many years, and he's got a lot of knowledge. And we think that we're with the right people to continue on with the dream of bringing blockchain to everybody around the world. That's it, folks. We're on booth 115. My name is Joel Bosch, and I'm here. I'm your friend. You can talk to me. We can talk. We can create blockchains. Let's create apps. And I need you out there, if you're a developer, hey, we started for nothing. Let's go. Let's go on this journey together, all right? Thank you very much.